What's up guys, Ryan from Hardscape. In today's video we've got the Harpegnathos Venator. I can't wait to get this out. It's a very simple build today, so you guys will be able to do something like this instead of adding filters and water systems, etc. It's a really simple build and I can't wait to get it out for you. I think they'll like it, and ultimately for me, I've just done something that's going to work, that's nice and simple. But as always, peace and love. I'm out. The first thing I'm doing here is just making the lid. It is very brief. I kind of just cut the shape and I'll show you afterwards what I do. I did skip one of the holes here with my drill. God damn it. But they're the holes, and this one was unfortunately not as it should have been. But this is where it's going, between my Harpegnathos and my MYRMICA rubber tank. What I'll be doing is I'll get a few patches of moss from my propagation tubs. So I will be showing a few of the moss that I use. If you do want me to do a video on this, then just shout up in the comments below. There's a few methods I use and I'm actually testing at the moment. I could actually do an experiment with you guys as well at the same time to see, we can have an update in like a month or two afterwards and see which one. I do put all the Latin names of the mosses I'm taking out here. You can see in the background a mushroom sprouted up there as well. But yeah, I just leave them be. If you break them or uproot them or anything, then you tend to find that you'll have a lot more as all the spores get released everywhere. So I do leave them be if there's ever mushrooms in there, and tend to find they just disappear after so long. I'll also be getting some branches as well, but a variety of mosses will be used. So this one here is Catherine's moss. This one has a nice dark green texture compared to the others, so it will contrast them really nicely. And this one looks like a miniature bush, so I will be using this one as well. I don't know the exact, so I had to just put the genus in there. In one of my other tubs, I've been using things like cork bark pieces, branches, bits of wood, seeing how they work as well compared to just a standard soil mix. And you will see that in the other tub that's also going really well. I did use though mosses that would prefer bark and wood, but I also use the same things in the other tub that I'm using, so it's a good comparison for me to see which things they prefer. This is a really nice lush green moss, so I do know that this is super healthy. There's certain things I put back that I decided not to use, or I just leave it grow a little bit longer. I decided I would use this branch as well. It's nice, it looks nice, and the moss is attached nicely to it as well. This does take about a month or two to get it attached, and you can tell when you try to uproot it, but this has got some Catherine's moss there attached, you could see, and different things, and this one isn't doing so good, so I am going to try and reuse this. There's only a little brown patch, and I'll take this piece as well. And everything you see in this video is pretty much available on my website. That includes, the terrarium kits to the custodians, cleanup crews, botanicals, the mosses, you name it, it's there. The only thing I don't sell is queen ants. So, there's definitely awesome shops in the UK for that though. But we are going to keep this one very simple as mentioned. First thing is just clay balls, mesh membrane, get that down. I was wanting to use this piece, to be honest, and I didn't really know how I wanted to use it at first. I ended up deciding that I wasn't going to use it, but when I filled it I realized that I could actually incorporate it within the design, so then I have to sort of uproot it slightly and get it buried in, which you will see. But either way, I hope you like the main build. All I'm doing here is turning the corners over to keep that drainage layer in nicely. I always leave that overhang as well, just in case. The soil mixes do contain charcoal, so I just have the charcoal within my soil mix. Lumps and all, if they are towards the surface as I'm piling it in, I'll just bury them below the soil. So super easy as I'm doing it. And the larger pieces I just put back in, and they'll just break down a little bit over time, or I'll just smash them up and just re-add them into the soil. But once you've got your soil mixed down, basically that's when I start to add the hardscape or certain elements to the design. I don't actually really go all out with rocks and hardscape because I know I was using a lot of moss. The difficulty I'll have with this is keeping the humidity inside. Although I've got the lid nicely with the fence, I will have a fan blowing across, because ultimately for me I want good airflow in this. At first I do, but you know, for the first couple of weeks, that's always the most difficult time to get the moss attached, and it kind of determines you know, whether it's going to work or not from there. So I have to make sure that I'm spraying this down regularly. So the soil mix did include cocoa fibre and certain worm castings for the mosses as well. I put the moss branches towards the back as well. I think they should pad out over the time, and the piece on the left and the right, and I think that was just about it really. I got 3 branches in total. I started to add patches of the moss, and you'll see that in a moment. I do put the Latin name of the plants that I use, but I only really used one plant anyway, so I'll put that up right now. Next thing is just giving it a really good mist down. If you are doing this for the first time or just setting everything in, give it the best mist down you can possibly give it. Even if you fill the drainage layer with a little bit of water, generally I find that helps. It just means you give it really good settling in. It helps the moss grip to the new soil, and it also helps pack everything down. So whatever you're keeping in there, you know, ants, whatever it is, if they burrow, it's always going to be more compact than if you let it loose. These are the isopods I added in, tropical greys. So I just keep these little lotus seed pods inside my tubs, and yeah, I just have to bash that a little bit, and I got all of those, which is good. I'll be using the species even though they're very prolific. When the Venators are hunting all the time, I do feel like they will be eating a lot of them, especially if they come near the nest. They're very aggressive and they can just take them out straight away. But I did pick them for the reason that they'll be prolific, because they will get eaten a lot. I also did use Ficus pumila. I forgot to mention, on the top left I'm adding springtails, you'll see there, but there's plenty in, and that's it really. Springtails and these tropical grey isopods. This is the setup. Like I mentioned, it's very basic. Even the lid, it's a little bit sketchy, but it doesn't matter. If it works, then it works, and that's the most important thing. Humidity, it's okay. I don't have to worry about burying the lid or anything. So humidity will be okay, but I do have a fan on the right side which is blowing air across, and it keeps it off there anyway. So yeah, I hope that they really take to this build, and I hope that they like it. I will also leave you with some footage of the ants, me thinking they're going to grab some isopods, but they never, if they're going to put on a show for us. But as I mentioned, unfortunately, that's the dead queen. So it is devastating, because I really had high hopes for this colony. You know, I left them the day they arrived. I thought I'll leave them this night, let them settle, and the next day I made the setup and put them in. But there is 2 queens in this colony, so there is 1 left, and I hope and fingers crossed that she does really well. Last thing for this actual area now is just to sort those wires out. But ultimately for me, I just hope they do well. The setup was made based around everything they would need. If I've done it right, or I hope I've done it right, then you don't have to worry about anything else. If these ladies are happy, I'm happy, and one day we might see a huge booming colony in here, and I really hope you do, because that would be absolutely mega. If you've liked the video as well, remember to drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and hit that bell icon so you get all of my notifications. But I will be leaving this with just a little bit of footage from the ants. If you haven't joined my Discord server yet, remember to go over to the Discord server. It's always in the links in the description. And as always from me, peace and love. I'm out.